Full disclosure, I am a sexual assault survivor from childhood as well as adult, and this is where I've been working for several years and where I plan to work for a very long time. So within the vast spectrum of sexuality that exists, sexual trauma is like one little piece of a pie that I happen to have developed some interesting insight on. And usually, the intro level work that I'm doing with a client who comes into my office, so like the first 1 to 4 sessions, is reassuring them that everything that their body did during that moment or moments were protective features that the body is supposed to do for us. So that means like freezing, so not being able to say or physically do something in that moment is a protective feature of our body, our physical and cognitive abilities. Also, looking at things like when we dissociate. So, if we like space out a lot, or if we're like really bored in a conversation and we find ourselves like on our phone, or if we're in a mildly inconvenient or possibly like devastatingly anxiety inducing moment at like a grocery store or like in the middle of traffic, when our minds wander, these are our protective factors of our body. And when we're recovering from assault, and some people notice that they've become more sexual or less sexual than they were before an assault, these are still protective factors. This is still our body trying to keep us safe. If we're having less than we were before, it could mean our body is trying to recuperate, trying to relearn a new narrative, trying to figure out what went wrong. If we're finding that we have more sex, which is something that often comes up in sessions, people, especially women, will say, I find that I became more of a hoe. I find that I became more slutty, or it was less important to me, like who the person was when they wanted to have sex with me. I would just do it. I was way less picky. And I would tell them it's kind of like when a football coach is trying to teach his team what they did wrong during a specific play on the field. The coach will have like a 10-second clip and will keep like replaying that clip and saying to the team, like, look at this player and look how that could have been different. And look how this player did this and look how this could have been different. And maybe this could have been switched up around here. And that's kind of what we're doing. People say like something is really wrong. We need to diagnose this person with a hypersexuality disorder, and something could be really wrong with their moods, and they could be going through a manic episode. When it really is just our minds trying to figure out what went wrong, and how can we put ourselves in a situation where we have more power, or maybe we have more of a say, or maybe we're more comfortable with this person to ask them to wear a condom, or maybe we're more comfortable with this person to ask them to not do this act, or to not be put in this position. And these, like, in these small ways, we grow and we heal and we learn new skills. And none of that makes anyone diseased or less worthy or bad at healing from trauma, from specifically sexual trauma. In fact, these are all things that help us to become whole people, to like integrate this one constellation of sexual trauma within our like whole universe. We can't like wipe a constellation off the map. We just like learn to integrate it within our universe and like notice where it is. And like if we're noticing that our intimacy is not feeling as good as it could, coming back into our bodies and like locating that in our body. Where does it not feel good? Does it not feel good in my belly? Is that where my anxiety usually sits? Why am I feeling anxious about this? What else could be coming up for me? And that's usually what I tell my clients off the bat when they're dealing with anxiety. The first antidote would be mindfulness. So coming back inside our bodies, relearning how to read our guts signals, and like centering our ability to decision make around that.